Well, our top focus this evening, will the Prajwal Revanna case have an impact on the BJP-JDS alliance as the remaining 14 seats of Karnataka get ready to vote in phase 3 tomorrow? That's our big question. Remember, Prajwal Revanna, the Hassan JDS MP accused of rape and several other sexual crimes, is yet to return to India and face the authorities. The CBI today has written to the Interpol to issue a blue-collar notice against the MP after a request from the Special Investigating Team of the Karnataka Police. Meanwhile, his father and Hole Narsipur MLA H.D. Revanna, who's facing a case of sexual harassment, remains in police custody and filed a fresh bail application. An SIT team also carried out a detailed crime scene assessment with one of the victims, a former domestic help who had accused both Revanna and Prajwal of sexual harassment at H.D. Revanna's Bengaluru residence. Meanwhile, H.D. Devagowda, former Prime Minister, and H.D. Kumaraswamy, former Chief Minister of Karnataka, have got an injunction from a Sessions Court against media outlets from depicting them falsely in relation with the Prajwal Revanna videos or the case. Two big questions. When will Prajwal Revanna return to India and face the authorities, and what impact will this case have on the BJP-JDS alliance? Let's listen in to BJP's B.S. Yediyurappa before we put that question to our experts on the panel this evening.
Inquiry is going on, it will take its own course. So that will not affect our election. In what way Prime Minister or anybody is responsible? Particular persons, if they are really involved after inquiry is over, the law will take its own course. Because they lost hopes, they don't get even 3-4 seats in Karnataka. That's where speak all nonsense.
Well, there are complex internal family equations within the JDS as well as political equations that are at play here. Joining us this evening, Manisha Priyam, political analyst who's observed the JDS and BJP and Karnataka very closely. Sandeep Shastri, national coordinator of the Lok Niti network, who has also followed Karnataka very closely. First to you, Dr. Shastri, given that the old Mysore region polling was done in phase 1 and the phase 2 is largely Mumbai, Karnataka and Hyderabad, Karnataka, what impact do you see of this controversy on the electoral fallout for the BJP-JDS alliance in phase 2?
Veera, as you rightly mentioned, the seats at which the JDS is contesting are all done already, and none of them are there in the 14 seats coming up tomorrow. Now, I think the BJP, has seen from Yediyurappa's statement, they have taken a clear insurance policy that this is about the JDS and its leaders and it has nothing to do with the BJP, and that the law will take its own course on this particular matter. And if you look at earlier statements, we are also strongly against people involved in injustice against women. So that, I think, is a clear stand they are taking. Now, how much impact will the Prajwal Revanna issue have on this election coming tomorrow? I think it all depends on how effectively the Congress is able to talk on the issue, how effectively they are able to present it before the people. We saw it being the mainstay of the Congress campaign yesterday and day before yesterday. And I would not be surprised if that continued to be as part of the door-to-door campaign today. So will it have an impact? I think it depends on how effectively the Congress is able to use it as a subject to hit on the BJP, because in these 14 seats, the principal contest is between the Congress and the BJP.
Right. That's an important point that you make there. Manisha Priyam, having observed the intricate political equations and personal equations in Karnataka, which you pointed out several times to us, how do you see this playing out beyond just phase 3? Do you see this impacting the BJP-JDS alliance itself? Because largely even within the JDS, H.D. Kumaraswamy and H.D. Devagowda seem to want to insulate themselves from this controversy. How do you see this playing out post-phase 3?
No, I think the whole episode has been very shameful, extremely shameful, and I do slightly, disagree from my very erudite and learned and most respected colleague, Professor Shastri here. It's not just a question of how effectively the Congress will take it in terms of campaigning. I mean, this is an issue that we are not able to discuss openly. Ask us as women. How heartbroken I am, to even see this. This morning we read the news in the Indian Express where women whose faces can be seen, they are now being hounded out by their families. And considering the fact that the story as we gather it involves many, many women, imagine the kind of impact this will have on the social fabric. So this is something that, will go beyond the electoral optics and dynamics, as it should. It's an event that shudders any society, let alone the JDS, which has had its citadel of power in the old Mysore region, in a particular community. And, the issue of status and prestige and what we call izzat in North India is very intrinsic to the idea of a community. And I shudder to believe what kind of long-term damage will this leave. Now, Devgowda and Sri Kumaraswamy now kind of separating themselves out is not enough. I mean, Prajwal was the blue-eyed boy at this age for Devgowda, once a former Prime Minister of this country, and having run his politics very successfully despite not having a very large mandate, and by and large being known for his very good governance, etc.
Right.
At this stage of his life to face this, I'm sure now there are no further cards left up there. Now Kumaraswamy coming up and saying, oh, they are separate and we are separate, is not going to be enough. It's the moral fabric of a society that's shaken up very badly. Now, even if the Congress doesn't campaign very well on this, I would be very happy, because this has to be taken up as a society, as a community. And what kind of bounds can, everybody is willing to discuss the women vote and the silent voter. What do you want us to do? Just suffer all this silently and then tell, the electorate or the electoral analysis as to, despite all this, how will women come out and vote? How do we, the polling for that seat has happened already. Women would, want to come out and protest against this, not just punish those guilty who the law will take their own course. This goes beyond electoral analysis. Very shameful, very shameful. An entire legacy of the socialist movement and third front politics, and one taint coming of this nature. I mean, it's just heartbreaking and earth-shattering. I can give you some political analysis of what may happen. It will be very difficult to tie up with the JDS beyond this, let me tell you this. And for the BJP, this issue and Brijbhushan Saran Singh issue in Uttar Pradesh, tie up to make a north-south story. I'm very sad at this, but what can I do? I mean, I hope none of the parties campaign on this issue, but let the law of this country take its, course on these matters. What's free and fair election for women, can somebody tell me?
Absolutely, Manisha. Absolutely, Manisha. I think that's a very, very important point that you make there. And as we've been making, one is the political fallout. Obviously, the investigations are an extremely important aspect in a case of this nature. We'll keep a close track of that. Thank you, both Sandeep Shastri as well as Manisha Priyam, for joining us and giving those thoughts on that issue. And as we head into phase 3.